live from the Cowboy Taj Mahal. It is the T-Bone Worldwide Show with your host, Mr. Tucker Sigrist. Well, we're going to jump right into the action, not only on the T-Bone Worldwide Show podcast, we're also live on the TikTok right now as we speak. But round number 2 is in the book, folks. The Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. And now we can finally start to see where everybody kind of gets in the average and where they start out at the average. And we can look for guys to make runs now. We can look at who's in the driver's seat for the world championship, but it's not over by no means because, like I said yesterday, in this day and time, you cannot count the 15th man in the world out. It is not set in stone that coming into the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo that this person is going to win the world. And that's what makes the 2025 Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, I feel, special. So, with that being said, we're going to dive right in and look at it. So, let's look at round number 2. Start it right there with the bareback riding. So, coming into this year, I picked Rocker Steiner to go and win the world title. And, hey, this kid's doing it. He's trying his best. He said he missed last year by only $6,000. So this year he's all gas, no brakes. But I picked Cade Saunier to take home the average at the NFR. And, I mean, I stretched out there with that pick. And we got 8 more rounds. We got 8 more chances at it. All right, but we'll look at the average, but let's talk about last night's winner. I picked Tilden Hooper to win the round last night. He was 81.5, out of the money, made a great bronc ride, though, but we'll get back to him because he's in the average hunt, setting up. So, last night's go-round winner, Rocker Steiner, 88 points. Great horse, great bronc ride. You know, he like I said, he's coming into this round, letting everything fly, and just going to him. Tonight, hey, where do we go tonight with him? Let's look at the draw right here. I got it. Rocker Steiner. He's got Who He Rocks. Great bronc. You know, I didn't bet with him last night, but I don't know. That's the kind of point that you're looking at right here. Last night as well, looking at good bronc rides. 83.5 from Jesse Pope. 83 and 7 3/4 Sam Peterson. 83.5 Mason Clements. I mean, look at these bronc rides. Wasey Shala, 86. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's riding broncs this year, and it's great. It's so great. So the bronc riding's tough to pick who you're going to pick out each round. It really, to me, it still comes down to a lot of horsepower and what the animal underneath you, because, like I said, everybody in this world can win. Everybody in the top 15 can win a round. There's not one person out there that I don't think can win. So tonight, just for my sanity, I didn't bet with him last night, but I'm not betting against him tonight, and that's going to be Jess Pope. Jess Pope's going to get the nod from me in the round win tonight in round number 3, my bad. And I think that, like I said, I picked Rocker to win the world in this deal, and I picked Jess Pope to win the average. So it's time for Jess Pope start doing these Jess Pope type things. It's what he's going to do because that guy is built for the long run. He's been here time and time again, and it's just the Thomas and Mack is his kind of building. So Jess Pope gets my nod tonight for round win. Last night I only placed in 2 rounds. I didn't win no rounds, so tonight it's kind of I want to get my team back on track and get my things back in order. So, but now let's look at the average. We can talk about the average now. We've got 2 horses rode. Wasey Shalla sitting atop of the board of the average here, going into round number 3. Now, that's what Wasey Shalla is going to have to do to keep knocking down the door or knocking at the door of Stetson Wright. That's what Wasey Shalla is going to have to do. He's going to have to keep winning these rounds to keep knocking down that all-around door of Stetson Wright. And we're going to get to Stetson in itself because Stetson's doing Stetson things, and that's something that we need to talk about when we get to him, but we're talking about Wasey Shalla right now in the all-around. Wasey Shalla is sitting second in the all-around, right behind Stetson Wright, and this bareback average shows you how aggressive Wasey's going to be and how good he's going to try to keep and push Stetson to the brink. And so right now he's 172 and a quarter on 2 head, so he's sitting first in the average. But there's plenty of room for people to catch him. Like I said, my pick, Jess Pope, he's 169 and 75 on 2. He's sitting 5th in the average. So, we've only rode 2. So tonight we're really going to see where everybody settles into the average. Who moves up? Who moves down? Where does we really kind of fall? And then we can go to work for the next 7 rounds after that. So that way each and everybody can have their opportunity. Now, moving over to the World Championship discussion in the bareback riding. My pick, I had him before round 1, Rocker Steiner. I said he was going to come in. I said he was leaving. He only lost the world last year by $6,000. This kid is going to do it to it. I've watched the Hell on Wheels. I know everybody else has too. He's just all gas, no brakes, going, blowing, and he's not going to stop. So he's sitting number 1 in the world. I say tonight, he could easily stay. He could easily stay number 1 if he cashes a good check here tonight, which is possible. He's cashed checks in the last 2 rounds. Guys doing it to it. So that's just where it falls. But tonight I'm gonna give the round to Jess Pope, and I think that he stands a really good chance to keep his momentum going towards that average championship. Let's move on. Let's go to the steer wrestling. We got a lot to talk about right here, folks. Look, last night you had Chance Howard set the tone. He was 4-3 last night in the steer wrestling, but you had plenty of folks after he ran that come in there and showed what business is about. We broke down into the 3s. Tucker Allen took the round win, 3-6. And that Ventura, California Cowboy, he lit up the Thomas and Mack last night. Like, we talk about Wag, we talk about Loomis, we talk about Dakota Eldridge, Kyle Irwin, Scott Gunther. You talk about those guys, and I know a lot of people talk about Tucker Allen too. Shoot, he's top 15 in the world, but he's one of them spoilers that you never see coming, and he struck last night like lightning. Just, boom, running there, 3-6, got him the round win. Now, I had Will Loomis to win the round last night, but he's placing. So I can't complain. We placed last night on our team. That's a good deal. But it's not over by no means because the steer wrestling is the tightest money event in pro rodeo. I believe it. I kind of looked at it. I hadn't done the full numbers, but I'm telling you, it's one of the tightest. Because look at Wag. He placed in 2 rounds, and he has jumped from, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was coming into the world or coming into the NFR at like 10th or 11th. He was right there in the middle of the pack. Where is he now? He's 3rd in the World Championship race, folks. That's how tight the bulldogging is this year. And let me tell you something. Going to come down to the 10th round. But the thing that I think separates the world champ right now, or the man that is number 1 in the world right now from the rest of everybody, is if you look at the average, he's not in the average, and that's okay for him. Will Loomis is okay not being in the average. It's okay. Look what he did last night. Blew out there. He was 4 flat. He made a business run last night, cashed a check, put himself that way he can stay leading the pack as the world champ. And that's what he needs to do. So tonight, we're looking at it. I'm kind of looking at it a little bit different. But, hey, I think that he could – I think he's going to place. Do I think he's going to get the round win? I don't know. because there's a lot of hungry guys in this list. A lot of hungry guys. And I believe that tonight, my pick for the steer wrestling, I just think that this is where it's going to go. I'm going to give it to the Westville, Florida Cowboy. I think the Alabama Slammer, Kyle Irwin, wins the Bulldogging tonight. He is poised to strike. He's another one of those guys that I tell you, he gets talked about a lot, but he's one of those that really run in there and strike right now. I think he comes in, I think he does his job, and I think he wins the round tonight. So we're going to give it to Kyle Irwin to win the round. But if I had to guess who else places in the steer wrestling, Wagasback's going to place, Will Loomis place, and Scott Gunther places. Remember that too, because that Scott Gunther, he's like lightning too. But I think that Kyle Irwin squeaks out ahead of him. I placed in the steer wrestling last night with my pick of Will Loomis, so we shall see tonight and see what we got, how we come tonight. If the draw on the internet is correct right here, I think Kyle, he'll be second out. It'll look real good, and I think he'll strike and be really competitive right there. And so, but we'll talk about right now, we'll move into the steer wrestling average. Now you want to talk about something that's going to get down to the haywire. Listen to this. Here we go. You got number one, Wag is leading your average with 8.1 on 2. Ty Erickson is tied with him for 8.1 on 2. Look, J.D. Struckness, he's 8.6 on 2. That's only 0.5 of a second. That's what I'm saying. It's stacking just right next to each other. It's gonna come down to the 10th round. There's no doubt about it. No questions asked. Jesse Brown, he is fourth in the world, or fourth in the average with 9.1 on 2. Scott Gunther, talked about him just a second ago, 9.3 on 2. Hey, and even my pick tonight, Kyle Irwin, he's 10th in the average. He's 13.7 on 2. Like I said, he's kind of gonna need a big win tonight to put himself back in the average, and that's gonna propel him forward, of course, in the world champion race. But he needs that to really help his average. He needs that win tonight to help his average. So, back to the world champion discussion. Will Loomis stays atop of the leaderboard one more night again. Tucker Allen knows hot on his heels with last night's win. That's $36,000 worth of work in 3.6 seconds. I don't know another job in the entire world that you're going to make that much money in that amount of time, but it happens every year in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. But, like I was talking about, Wag has slid all the way back up to 3 now. 2 rounds, cashed in checks. He's in the driver's seat in the average, and now he's coming for the world title. Don't think that man can't do it, because he's done it time and time again. That's why he's Tyler Wagasback. That's why he's one of the greatest. I think that we are truly watching probably the greatest 10 rounds, or potentially the greatest 10 rounds of steer wrestling in the NFR history. It really is, because everybody is so competitive, and everybody is able to beat everyone each and every night. So, there's the steer wrestling breakdown from me from round 2, and then back down to, and then looking forward to round 3. We'll move on to the team roping now. So, in the team roping, let's look at this. Last night, my pick was Levi Lord and Dustin Egasquizia. I picked them to win the world, and then I picked Jade Corkill and Clinton Summers to win the average. So, my team, like I said, we got 8 more rounds. I got plenty of time, but we need to start getting a move on if we're going to start making a play at it. No doubt about it. So, last night I picked Dustin and Levi to win the round. They run out there with a 4-7. Hey, they were in the money for a couple of runs, and then they got bumped out. Actually, Junior and Driggers bumped them out of the money last night. So, with a 4-5. We'll look right here last night. 3.9, Jake Smith and Douglas Rich won the round. 3.9. We broke down in the threes there. So, the team roping is stacking up just as tight, but not as tight as the steer wrestling. But the surprising thing, though, last night, Begay and Todd, what happened right there? We're now they're still in the average, but 2 legs, that's not like them guys. So, and listen, I don't see Derek Begay getting nervous, but if you watched him last night, he looked like he just wasn't settled. He didn't hold his rope just right. He looked off from riding in the box to me, and it was showed. He was 3.9 plus 5. I mean, Todd slipped a leg. I mean, they're gonna have to tighten up right here, I think, and they will, but they're just gonna have to find a rhythm, and they're just out of rhythm right now. But the rest of the field is looking really good. Travis Graves, Tanner Thompson, 4-2. They look good. Lane Mitchell, Clyde Denson, 4-2. Look good. Dawson Graham, Dylan Graham, hey, 4-1. I mean, we're stacking up really good, and we're seeing where it's going. Jade Corkill, Clint Summers, they were 4-7. So the average is still going to be really tight in the team roping, and we shall see. Now, this year, it's kind of odd because we've got so many mismatch partners. When you slide over to, like, your average or the world champ race, you got a header that may win the world championship that don't rope with the healer that may win the world championship, just because of just so many mismatch partners going into the NFR this year. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's actually happening right now. Tanner Tomlinson leads the world as the headers. Junior is winning the world in the healer side. So they don't rope together. Everybody knows that. So it's going to be kind of cool. I think that's going to foul a lot of people's pro rodeo fantasy teams up, except for a few buddies of mine, especially one. He's going to pick like that. And you usually see them pair up, and they usually win together. But like I said, mismatch partners comes back to that. So it's I mean, I know it's fouling mine up, and it's probably going to foul everybody else's up. But back to it. It still could come out either way, though, because you got like Andrew Ward, he's second in the world on the header side, and then Driggers is right behind him at third. So if Junior and Driggers win another round or, win some more money, he could come up with Tanner, and then, you could see Junior and Caleb win it together. You don't know. And then on the other side, you got Jake Long, second on the healer side, and Jade Corkill. So same way with that deal. Clint Summers and Jade could keep doing good, and Jade just jump up there and win the world, and Clint not be there because they're, like I said, they're a mismatch team. Tonight, though, I bet against them in round number 2. I'm not going to bet against them again. They're consistent as they can. I'm going Clint Summers and Jade Corkill. They're going to get my nod from the team roping tonight. I mean, they got my nod. They placed in the round in round number 1 for me. I like that. I'll take consistency every day, like I told you. I placed or won 5 out of 7 rounds or 5 out of 7 events in round number 1. Last night we only placed in 2 events, and I don't like that. We're going to get our average back right. So we're going back with tried and true and consistent people that's been to them Thomas and Mack. And like I said, Clint Summers, Jade Corkill, that's where it's at for the team roping. Corkill. All right. I like the way the team's shaping up so far. So we'll go back to the rough stock side of the end, just like the NFR. We'll go the same events, order of events. So we'll come back and we'll go to saddle bronc riding right here. All right. Tonight in the saddle bronc riding, hey, before we talk about tonight, last night you had some really good saddle bronc riding. I mean, I went with Zeke Thurston, Alberta, Canada's. Hey, what did he do? Split second. But look right here. 90 points. Damian Brennan, Australian cowboy. It goes back to what I was talking about yesterday. Bronc score. Horsepower. You've got to have the horsepower underneath you to propel you to be able to win these rounds at the NFR because everybody is so good. That's what you got to have. That's talking about drawing good, executing, and just sitting up there and making it look easy. Damian Brennan's horse was one of the top bronc scored horses coming into the round last night. 43.5 kind of score right there. I mean, there was only really there's only two horses better than this horse coming into last night on the bronc scores. So, I mean, it's one of the top 3. You got to execute, make your ride, and do it. You know what I mean? So, and he can ride the good horses. That's the beauty of it, is he can ride the good horses. Damian Brennan has now inserted himself into this world champion conversation, into this average conversation, because he saw Zeke, he saw Stetson, he saw them guys coming and going, hey, we'll see you later, we're going on down here, we're going to win a bunch of money, and he inserted himself into that conversation last night by knocking down the round win. I mean, literally, I think Zeke rode his for 89. Then all of a sudden, I think Damian Brennan was next. Either he was next or he was right after that. He was either 1 or 2 after Zeke. And, you know, you just tied the leaderboard at 89. The Thomas and Mack was just about quiet. And then all of a sudden, Damian Brennan burst out the buck and shoot. What does it do? They're like, holy crap. Like, I mean, it just thunderously roared to just a peak right there for a second. And I mean, it was wild. It was good. That's what rodeo's about. It's what the NFR is about. So Damian Brennan just lit it up last night. But so I picked Zeke to win the world and Zeke to win the average coming into this thing. Zeke's placed in 2 rounds. I'm really pleased with that. He placed last night. He got me one of my only placings. But tonight, when it comes down to the saddle bronc riding, it's just hey, it's anybody's game in the rounds. It's really anybody's game when it comes to this world championship race, too. I truly believe that, too. Because, like I said, Damian Brennan has now inserted himself coming into the night as the number 1 man in the world. So, he put the target on his back. Now them boys got to go chase him down, just like in the average. Now, Stetson still has got the average got the lead in the average tonight. He was 179 on 2, but Damian Brennan was 176.5 on 2. That's not far behind. I mean, Zeke Thurston, he's 176 on 2, so he's right there. I mean, and then, shoot, even Lefty Holman is even in the average. Did he cash a check in round number 1? No, but it's okay. He rode one. That helps your average win. That helps your average score. Lefty Holman, he come into the world 15th. You know what I mean? And now he's sitting 171 and 25 on 2, number 6 in the man and average in the saddle bronc riding. Go win you that average buckle. And if you're asking me, I think the average buckle is just as important or better than the year-end buckle, because it proved that you could go to Las Vegas, Nevada, under the neons and nylons of Sin City, in the Thomas and Mack, and duke it out with the top 15 in the world over 10 rounds, and you come out the best. If that's not a champion, I don't know what is. That's what I'm telling you. That average title means a lot. That average title is very, very important in my mind. So that's my take on that. So back to the saddle bronc riding tonight. I mean, I've rode with Zeke 2 rounds last night, or I've rode with Zeke 1 round, and then the first night I went to Stetson right. Tonight, I mean, it's just really the broncs look just about all even. They look like the kind that match up really good with everybody. But tonight, just because I just think this guy's gonna go, he's gonna go make him a bronc ride tonight. I'm gonna give my nod to Zeke Thurston again. I mean, you just can't complain with consistency. Zeke Thurston is so consistent. He's consistently at the top of the leaderboard. He's always looked that guy that when you just rode and you changed the top, you're looking over your shoulder to watch him nod his head because he's fixing to make one that changes your score or changes your position in the leaderboard. That's what I'm saying. Zeke Thurston is just Mr. Consistency this year, and I like his chances tonight. I like his bronc tonight. It's a good bronc. Sheamus, hey, this guy can do it. There's no doubt about it. So Zeke Thurston's going to get my nod tonight. And but if I had to guess as well, if you really wanted to know, I'm going to say that there's no doubt Stetson Wright places. I believe Statler Wright's going to be up there, and I'll throw a fourth man in there. I think that little Dawson Hay comes in there with him too. I mean, I like my chances right there in the saddle bronc riding. So let's slide on down to the next event right here. Let's go to the tie down roping. Now, the tie down roping. It's tight in the tie down roping. I mean, tight. It's just as tight as the steer wrestling. Everybody's running and gunning. Last night, we saw some people kind of take themselves out of the average. So, or I wouldn't say they took themselves out of the average. Let's back up. I would say that they really put a hurting on their chances to get settled in a good position in the average to be able to go 7 more rounds after tonight and be able to really make moves, be able to make upsets, be able to be effective other than just being a spoiler. So tonight is a really important round. Round 3 to me is an important round because you really want to get settled into a good spot in the average. Because, hey, if you're in a good spot in the average, you're cashing checks, you're winning money, you're trying to compete for an average title, which in turn in this day and time with as much money as give away each round, you're competing for a world championship. No doubt about it. It all starts, though, with go cashing a check each round. Go get a check, even if it's third, even if it's fourth. Cash that check. You know what those checks are? I think third is 21,000. I think second's 28,000 and first is 36,000. Something like that. We're close. I'm close to that. So go get those checks every night. Now I rode this year. I said that Riley Webb was going to win the world, and John Dowse was going to win the average. My team's got some work to do, no doubt. We can do it. It's just going to take some stepping out there and go getting it done. So we'll look at last night. I picked John Dowse to win the round last night. I've rode with him both nights last 2 rounds. He didn't place. He was 8-7. Little long in the round, but it could have been worse, no doubt. But last night we also saw the world champion Riley Webb get a little long. So let's talk about that. He was 9 flat last night. So he is opening the door because Shad placed second or tied 3 ways with first with Marty Yates and who was the other fella, Dylan Hancock, in there with him. Shad is knocking on the door. He is letting it be known that he is here to win a world championship, and he's also here to win an average championship. And I feel like Shad's walking into the building each and every night with a chip on his shoulder. Now, I'm not the biggest Shad Mayfield fan in the world. I like the way he ropes. I think he's really great, but I don't know. I like Riley Webb because if you'll look the first night, Shad makes that big run. Riley Webb's got to follow him. Riley Webb walks in that box, stone face, makes a business run, cashes a check. Now, last night, we bobbled 9 flat. It's going to hurt him, I feel like, in the long run if he don't bounce back tonight. We've got to watch Riley Webb over the past several years just be as consistent can be. Last night we made a bobble. I'm not saying he hasn't made bobbles before, But I'm saying 9 flat in the second round was not the bobble you wanted to make. You wanted to go be 9 flat later. You wanted to go be 9 flat tonight. Be long tonight. But now, if you don't go bounce back tonight, you are in a deeper hole. You have got to bounce back tonight. Got to go get it. You got to go put yourself back in that conversation. Because, why? Well, we'll flip right over here. Look at your average. The average. Shad Mayfield, 14.6 on 2. Marty Yates, 15.9 on 2. Tom Kraus, 16 flat on 2. Joel Harris, 16.1. Riley Webb has slid to 6th in the average. And you've got to remember that these other boys are still open, like every night with you. So, I mean, I'm saying that Shad Mayfield cashes a check tonight. Look at Marty Yates, probably going to cash a check tonight. Well, Riley Webb's got to go insert himself in that conversation, or they're going to pull away from him in the average. Then he's not winning money. Then he's not chasing a world championship. Because look at how tight your world championship race is on. Look at how tight the world championship race is. Riley Webb is only ahead of Shad Mayfield by a little bit. So you've got to, both of those guys are going to have to walk into the Thomas and Mack tonight and execute, and we're going to see who comes out on top. It's the battle of the Titans. And then you got Marty Yates. Look at Marty Yates sliding himself right up into the conversation. He's just coming on along. Dylan Hancock, he places himself 3rd in the world championship race last night, sliding their way right up into the conversation. You don't never know right there. You don't never know. You don't never know. So tonight, though, in the calf roping, in the tie-down roping, it's hard. I mean, it is very hard. But let's see right here. Where are they running at? Let's look at it. I think tonight I'm gonna give my nod to Riley Webb. I'm going to say Riley Webb comes out tonight, and that was a hard pick for me because I really, really, really wanted to pick Haven Midget for some reason. I really think that Haven Midget is poised to strike. That's another one of those ropers that is not got himself in the average or not put himself in the average conversation as much as I thought he would, but he is in the deal, in it to win it. I mean, he's 9th in the average right now. So he's 18.1 on 2. We shall see, because I really wanted to pick Haven Midget, but tonight in the calf roping, I'm going to give my nod to Riley Webb. He's going to come out tonight. He's going to make a business run, and he's going to let everybody know that he's still here. He's still Mr. Consistency, and he still owns the Thomas and Mack as a building. I mean, that's his building. So that's the way it's going to roll, and Riley Webb takes the win tonight. So let's slide down to the barrel racing. All right, I in the barrel racing, I have picked before the first round. I picked Lisa Lockhart to win the world, and I picked Carly O'Tara to win the average. Now we got 8 more rounds. I still think that my team looks pretty good, even after round number 2. I'm not real sure on the world championship race because the WPRA is not as fast as the PRCA is at updating their stats each and every day to calculate the world championship. Tonight I may try to sit down and do it myself, and that way we can get a rough picture going into round number 4 where we are, and I'll see what I can do when we after tonight's performances on that. But we can look to the average right now. In the average, we know that Haley Kinsel is going to be super fast if she can keep Sister sound. So last night, wicked run. Now they're sitting 27.23 on 2. So they are in the driver's seat, but Cassie Mallory is knocking on the door. There's no doubt about it. Cassie Mallory, she placed 5th last night in the round, still cashing a check, still hanging around. She's got a big, good-looking horse. I like the horse. She's one to talk about. Brittany Posey to Nosy, though, look at her. She placed 2nd last night in the round. She has now inserted herself into the conversation. I believe she is sitting right now. Brittany Posey to Nosy is 4th in the average. She's 27.70 on 2. So she's one of those girls that could strike really fast right here in round number 3 and really be competitive on down the line. So that's something to consider as well. Now, my girl Lisa last night, she was going to probably place 2nd in the round, and she hit a barrel. So it has knocked her to 8th in the average. She's 32 on 2. So we've got some work to do right there when it comes down to it with Lisa. I'm not going to give her the nod tonight. It's kind of going to be hard, but tonight I'm going to give the nod to Trisha Aldridge. I think that girl is poised to strike as well. If you look at her, look at her horse, look at how fast they've been getting. I was told to watch her. I watched her last night, and I think this girl is very, very competitive. Placed 4th last night in the round. I mean, I think that she can be just as fast as anybody else, and we shall see. Everybody's going to get on to me for not picking Haley and Sister, but I'm not picking Haley and Sister just because I think Sister was really good last night. She felt good, but Sister's not going to hold up anymore over 10 rounds. This is the last time we're going to see Sister, you guys, but she's not the horse anymore. I just don't think she is. Hey, it'd be all right. That's the way it's going to be. It's just that's my pick for it. So we're going to give my nod to Trisha Aldridge in the barrel racing. And we shall see what comes down. Like I said, I've got a lot of work to do in the average. I'd like to see Carly Otero make cash a check right here to put herself back into the deal. I think she is right now. She is out of the average. She's not top 10 in the average. So, I mean, it doesn't really look good for that aspect of it. So we shall see. Now we come to the bull riding. So last night I talked with Keith Jewett. He was on the TikTok live. We stopped the podcast and me and Keith talked a minute. We talked about just the bull riding in general, and he asked me, he said, how many bulls do you think it will take for the man to win the average to ride? I said 7. I'm not so sure anymore. Last night we watched Stetson Wright ride a bull that had a 100% buck-off rate coming into the NFR. We watched 7 bulls, I do believe. Could be wrong right there. But we watched, I know there was 5. 5 bulls, maybe 7, walk into the yellow bucking chutes with a 100% buck-off rate. Out of those bulls, there was 1, 2, 3, were 4. There was 4 of them. 4 of them get rode last night. I'm not so sure anymore that it's not going to take 8 or 9 to win the average this year. We're watching a tear. We're watching a tear build. Let's get it right where we are in this point at the NFR. We are watching a tear build. Stetson Wright, Kyle Hamilton, TJ Gray. Look at that. You guys think I'm crazy right there. Look, I know y'all think I'm crazy right here but look, in the average, TJ Gray is 3rd. Look at TJ Gray. He's sliding himself into the conversation. Who else? Wasted Shala. 88.5 last night, Wasey Shallow was. That was one of them bulls. That was one of them bulls that I told you that had a 100% buck-off rate coming into the NFR this year. Hadn't been rode since last year to NFR. Who got on him? Wasey Shallow. What was he? 87 points. You just saw that coming. Now, my pick this year at the NFR, I picked who did I pick to win the world? I picked Stetson Wright to win the world, and I picked Kai Hamilton. There ain't no doubt. I picked Kai Hamilton. Yeah, I picked Kai Hamilton to win the world, but I picked Hudson Bolton to win the average. Hudson Bolton, 19 years old. You tell me, T-Bone, you're crazy for that. Yes, I am. Because let me tell you, that guy was PBR Rookie of the Year, made the PBR World Finals at 19 years old. He is a veteran in this sport. He may be a rookie to the NFR, but he is no rookie to the sport of rodeo and how this works. But 10 head is a lot. It's just like Chris Ledoux said. Hey, rookie, can you take 10 head? You know what I mean? Have you got the heart? So, last night, we seen a chip in the armor. Last night, he got bucked off. Buck nasty. Pickett Pro Rodeo was just a little bit too much for him. So, I don't know. We will see how he responds tonight. But looking at the folks that did ride, T.J. Gray, talked about him. 89 points aboard Guess Who from Cullen Pickett. 88.5 or 88.25 Kai Hamilton aboard Midnight Rider. 89.5 Stetson Wright. Hey, Stetson on the tear. Like I told you, Stetson is on the tear. So we shall see if it continues tonight, because you don't know. You don't know how tonight's going to shake up with the bulls, how they're drawn up. I'm looking at the draw right now. Let's look. Wasey Shallow, Richard Slam, Stetson Wright, Cookies and Cream, Kai Hamilton doze you down. You know what I mean? So, and if they go in this order right here, look at this right here. If they go in this order, if you go number 1 man down to the 15th, the last 3 guys, Kai Hamilton, Wasey Shallow, Stetson Wright. You're going to see them guys feed off of each other. Kai Hamilton will start it right there. But before that, T.J. Gray will start it. But before that, Jesse Petrie will start it. But before that, you can see Hudson Bolton start it. That's what I'm talking about. This is going to be electric. You're going to see these guys light it up tonight. I just know it. We're going back to round 1. We're going to see 7 or 8 qualified rides. This is going to be a good pen of bulls here tonight. I'm looking at it right now. They're all evened up. They're all matched up. They're going to be an even set of bulls. But let's look at the average, because now that you've had some people buck off a 2, buck off a 1, hey, guess what? You have now got to look at the average in a different way, because we're going to have to see some people put their name next to one and put a score next to one to really put something back together. Hudson Bolton's one of those people. If he wants to get back into the conversation of the average title, he's going to have to get one road tonight. He's going to have to show out. He's going to have to spur with that foot. So, but let's look at the average as we sit right now. Jesse Petrie, everybody thought he was crazy for round 1. Didn't take the re-ride. Now, me personally, I'm a JB kind of fan, so I wish he would have took the re-ride. I wish he would have said, hey, it don't matter what you guys got, run another one in there, tell me what side he's on, I don't care. Just run him in there. So, I mean, I wish that Jesse Petrie would have took his re-ride in the first round, but he didn't. But it sets him up right here. He's 6th in the average, 161 on 2, so that helps him. Tonight, Jesse Petrie's got a bull, Chuck's boy, good bull. We could see another. He could be going 3 for 3. So if that goes down, then you've got to wonder, hey, Jesse Petrie's 3 for 3. That's dangerous, because now he's heating up. We shall see about that. Luke Mackey, he's sitting 4th or fifth in the average. He's 171.5 on 2. So we shall see what kind of goes on right there with Luke Mackey and tonight's ride. Getting into the top 4, we have got your usual suspects, but with a spoiler in there. Kai Hamilton, 171.25 on 2. Kai Hamilton to this week is going to ride like there is no tomorrow. He's going to hang on with every grit, determination, and everything he's got because he is chasing Stetson. He is trying to catch that man. And Stetson, as we know, is on a tear, and he's going to try to push Stetson to a breaking point. But as we know, I don't know if there is a breaking point of Stetson Wright. I don't think that Stetson Wright has a breaking point. I don't think that he has a chip in his armor, but we shall see. Now, saying that, I'm not going to ride with Stetson tonight. I rode with Stetson the first night, but I don't know. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about the man right here, TJ Gray. I like this guy. 176 on 2. TJ Gray sitting third in the average coming in around number 4. So, I mean, it could get Western right there with TJ Gray being a spoiler. Not that TJ Gray doesn't deserve to be there, or you never would have thought TJ Gray would be there. It's because TJ Gray has come out of nowhere and just put himself, assertively just commanded the fact that, hey, I'm TJ Gray, and I'm here for a reason, and I'm going to go win a world title. And I'm going to go try to win an average title. So, then Wasey Shalla, like I told you in the bareback riding, Wasey Shalla is going to have to keep himself in the average to keep himself in the conversation for that all-around world championship. He is going to have to really go for it. He is going to have to lay it all out on the line. He's going to have to bear down and be cowboy and guess what? He can. There's no doubt about it that Wasey Shalla can keep his hand closed, whether that be in the bareback riding or it be in the bull riding. That kid is fully capable of winning the all-around world championship, but he's got to beat Superman to do it. And that just don't know if it's possible. That's what we're all trying to figure out. Does Stetson Wright have a chink in the armor? If so, where is it at? He has spent the last 2 years on injured reserve, bouncing around, winning some rodeos, and getting himself at the NFR, but yet he really hasn't rodeoed in 2 years. So, is he just back at 100% and it's just unreal? Or does round 3 change things? Oh, we done made the camera fall. Anyway, does round 3 change things for us now? Does Stetson fall apart here? No, he don't. We know that. He's not going to fall apart. I'm saying he's going to cash a check. But I don't know if he's going to win it tonight. Looking at the world championship race, it is Stetson Wasey Kai. We know that. We know that Kai Hamilton has got to run these two down. And it's going to be a job for him, but that's the only man I feel like in the pack that is up for the challenge of running these guys down. But I promise you, TJ Gray is going to have something to say about it. So we shall see tonight. Tonight, in the bull riding, my pick is just going to go down to who do I want to see or who do I think is going to come in and make a business decision and grit their teeth and be a cowboy. I'm going to give my round win tonight to TJ Gray. TJ Gray is on fire. He's going to turn around and he's going to make a statement tonight like he has the past 2 nights. He's feeling the energy. He's feeling the Thomas and Mack, and he's drawing good. He's got a bull tonight, Huckleberry, good bull, no problem right there out of that deal, and it's on the side he likes, and I think that he just comes in, makes a decision, and says, hey, I'm here as well. I'm TJ Gray, and I'm here at the NFR, and so that kid gets or that guy gets the nod from me. I picked, like I said, I picked Kai and then Hudson. I think that they're still in the conversation, no doubt about it. But tonight, after the round 3, we will be able to come to you tomorrow and really see where everybody is stacking up in the average. Where is everybody settling in the pack? Where is everybody going to land when it comes down to the time to really just get after it? So we shall see what goes down. and we will be back tomorrow. Like I said, we'll be on the TikTok live. I've been going about 4:30. I went 4:30 today. I think I'm going to try to come on at about 4 o'clock, and we shall then come on the TikTok live, and then I'm going to post the podcast. That's what we do. It is the T-Bone Worldwide Show, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a breakdown of round number 2 and a look forward to round number 3 of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. And remember, folks, if I don't see you again, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. And God bless.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.